Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and wow, I have another WT01 platform to show you guys. I've been really pumping these out recently. This is the Mudblaster II that I recently unboxed. I built it just the day after. I started at like midnight, and it literally only took me like 2 hours to build this thing. These WT01s are super easy to build, really simple to build. And that's one of the things I like about them. Like you can get a bunch of them and just pump them out like a factory really fast, just within a day, excuse me. And that was also with me taking time to take apart the pre-built transmission to install the ball bearings in it. This one has the stock ESC that it came with. As you can see in there, it's using a Spectrum 3-channel receiver, and I had to use a 3-channel receiver because of this body on it. This is the FJ Cruiser body from my CC01. This is not the brand new one I showed you in the unboxing. This is the old one that I had from my old CC01. It has multiple holes in it because it was on my CC01, it was on a MST CMX, it was on a CR01, and now it's on this WT01. So it's been on a lot of different trucks, and I'll show you how I mounted that body in a second. But it does have this light kit in it, the headlights and the solid tail lights and the roof rack lights. And to plug in the lights, I needed a 3-channel radio because the old 104 and 105 BK speed controls required 2 ports in order to function. So that meant I needed 4 ports in total. So the speed control is plugged into throttle and into channel 2 and into auxiliary, and my light kit is plugged into my bind port. So that's why I needed to do that. It has the stock tires on it. I've actually run this a couple times already before, so the pin spikes are already pretty worn down. Those pin spikes wear down really fast, so if you want to preserve them, have an extra set of tires to keep around for street running or whatever. I have some other tires I could have used, but one, I forgot about them, and two, I actually don't care if the pin spikes wear down because you can always get new ones if you need them. And also I like the look of them without the pin spikes also, so it doesn't really matter to me. The wheels are the stock chrome wheels. I did not put the stickers on them. I didn't paint the stock body or anything yet. I'm just running it with this body at the moment. But everything in this is stock other than the ball bearings in it. Has the stock friction shocks, stock wheels, stock tires, everything like that. The only thing that is different is obviously the body and the ball bearings. The ball bearings, this one came with bonus parts if you saw the unboxing. So the shielded bearings that came with it, I put in the transmission because I thought they'll be a little bit safer in there. And then the hubs, I put in rubber sealed bearings that I bought separately, so I put that in there. As for a servo, I have this Hexfly 25 kg servo in there. It's kind of overkill. Excuse me, it's kind of overkill, but it's what I had laying around. I had like a Spectrum one laying around, but that one's super weak and I didn't really want to use that. So pretty happy with how it came together so far. And this body, even though it's missing a front bumper and it's really cut up and stuff, you can see the windows and the windshield is cut out and everything. Has a bunch of holes in it. This is a pretty sentimental body for me, so it's pretty cool to see this actually be used. And it gives me more hope for the new body that I'm planning on putting on this, the new FJ body. I'll probably do some of the modifications that I did to this one on the new one. Maybe the light grills I'll do on it. I'm not sure. I might do the spare tire mod like this. This is just a stock CC01 wheel, and I just super glued the plastic tire cover on it, so it just looks a little bit more realistic and a little bit cooler in my opinion. It makes it a little heavy in the back, but it does look cool. And to mount it, you can see there's no body post hanging up on the top of the body, and that's because I've mounted it like some of the hard body CC01s, where I made the body come out the back. And I actually got this idea on eBay. There's a guy in Japan selling a WT01 just like this with an FJ Cruiser body, and this is how he mounted it. And looking at the pictures, he literally just used the stock mount. So the mounts in the front are the rear mounts that are mounted backwards in the front, and I didn't even have to cut any extra holes because it uses the same hole position and width that the CR01 and the MST use, so that was pretty neat. And then the front body post is laid on its side. I don't know if you can see it in there, and it's making it poke out the back. So that makes it so even though you're using an SUV style body, you don't have to buy new body posts or modify anything. So that was pretty smart. Good on that Japanese eBay seller for that idea. But yeah, we'll run it. You will see that it is much faster than my other WT01 because of the ball bearings. It has a stock motor in it right now. I do have a sport tune motor that's gonna go in it, but I want to save that for a future video I have planned. So the body is gonna rattle around a little bit because the fenders rub a little bit on the tires because I have the body mounted pretty low. So if you don't want it to rub, you can raise up the body or trim it. But yeah, it's running a 42 milliamp hour, a 4200 milliamp hour, excuse me, 6-cell nickel metal hydride pack. So that also helps the speed. So this thing's really peppy. I had my Bush Devil 2 out here in this exact same spot, and my and I will have a Blackfoot Extreme out pretty soon. So if you watch all of those videos side by side, you will see that this is much faster. The Blackfoot Extreme is going to be the slowest, obviously, with the bushings, and on top of that, the hard body makes it heavier as well. This one has a metal roof rack on it, but because so much of the body is cut out, and because of the ball bearings and the more powerful battery, it is going to be a lot faster. I'm usually not a big fan of chrome wheels, but it actually looks pretty cool on it, especially glistening in the sun like that. If you hear any piano in the background, it's because my mom is a piano teacher and she's practicing right now. Definitely super bouncy. You can kind of see when it lands, it's kind of bouncing that rear end a lot, and I suspect that's because of that spare tire that I have in the back is adding a lot of rear weight. On top of that, the way the body post is mounted is making the body bounce up and down, and as a result, the truck is kind of taking off, like the rear wheels are bouncing up, but it's not too noticeable. You can see it jumps a lot farther than my other trucks, and unlike my other WT01s with the speed and the added weight up top, this is the only one that will occasionally flip over in a hard corner, but for the most part it just kind of diffs out or understeers, which isn't obviously the best for performance. Oh, look at that. See, the first time I've ever rolled over one of these, just normal running. But it does go slow enough still where if it starts to flip over, most of the time you can catch it and correct yourself. It flipped over right there because I was paying attention to my camera. But it is a lot of fun to drive. And I don't know if you've noticed, but all the WT01 bodies that are used are the same wheelbase as the short wheelbase of the Tamiya CC01 and CC02. So it doesn't quite fit the wheelbase of the chassis properly, because the actual WT01 chassis is the wheelbase of the long wheelbase of the CC01 and CC02. And at the moment, the only bodies that fit that long wheelbase, I believe, is the FJ Cruiser, as you see here, and the new Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon that came out with the CC02. I think the Toyota Hilux, the new Toyota Hilux body, I think that's long wheelbase. I may be wrong, you can correct me on that. But not a lot of options for long wheelbase bodies. But the short wheelbase bodies, if you don't pay too close of an attention, they still look pretty good. At least most of them. The shorter wheelbase bodies definitely give it a little bit more of a monster truck look, whereas when the wheelbase fits the truck properly, with especially a large body like the FJ Cruiser, it does make it look less of a monster truck and more like a lifted mud truck or something, or even just like a generic like Nico or New Bright RC truck has kind of this proportion to it. But honestly, that was the look I was going for. I really wanted this thing to look like a Nico, my old Nico FJ Cruiser, or like a New Bright car, just with a lot higher performance. So I'm pretty happy with the look. I'm pretty excited to get the new body painted up. I have a paint scheme idea that's going to be pretty special, I think, if it works out, but we'll have to see. I may have to mock it up on my computer just to see if it looks just as good as I think it will in my head. Oops. If you see me like stopping the truck every once in a while, it's because my new phone is quite long and the case on it is kind of slippery, so it's hard to really hold the phone with one hand. It tends to slip out, especially when I'm moving. Oop! I flipped it over again. But that's my quick run of my Tamiya Mudblaster II, or my Monster FJ Cruiser project. If you guys enjoyed this video or any other videos that I made, please give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good YouTube shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time.